I did. Hey guys, welcome to a new video. In today's video, it is part of a maybe three-part series where I want to go into the most commonly asked questions as well as most commonly maybe unknown terms that you might encounter when you get into triathlon. So I got into triathlon almost 3 years ago by now, and those were definitely some questions and some terms that I struggled with. So in no particular order, I will go through some of the questions. I have them written down on my computer and hope to give you a very, very quick but encompassing answer, if that makes sense. The first question is a question that I also asked myself right away when I thought about triathlon, and that is, do I need a base level of fitness, or do I need to be extremely fit to even get into triathlon training? And for this, the answer is very obviously no, you don't need to. There's a ton of different triathlons out there. There's different distances, there's different terrains, so there's something for everyone. And even as a totally new beginner who has no aerobic base whatsoever or skill in swimming, biking, or running, you can, with enough time, definitely train your way up to complete your first Ironman. And you don't need a base fitness for that. What equipment do I need? And this is a very loaded question. So let me give you the very short answer, and then there will be another video going into detail of what you all need. But in short, you need swim trunks, maybe a wetsuit for your swim, definitely goggles though. You will need a bicycle that is safe for the road, and you will need a helmet, ideally some biking shoes as well that you can clip in the pedal, but that is not a must. And lastly, you will need some running shoes. That's really it. That's all you need. Maybe a hat, sunglasses for the run if you prefer it, but that is the bare minimum that you need. Question number 3 and 4. Do I need a wetsuit, and can I use any kind of bicycle that I like? And the answer to both is yes and no. Hold on. You do not need a wetsuit. Depending on what triathlon you're doing, the swim might be wetsuit legal, or the water might be warm enough that you're actually not allowed to swim in a wetsuit. But for the most part, I would say you are on the safer side if you have a wetsuit available. You have a bigger pool of races to choose from. For the bike, you can ride the course on any kind of bicycle that you want. Just keep in mind that, a road bike is going to be a little slower than a triathlon bike, and a mountain bike is probably going to be the slowest. But if you're just out there to have fun and to experience it, you don't need to purchase an extra bicycle for it. Whatever bicycle you can have at home, you can definitely use it for your first triathlon. What if I can't swim? If you can't swim, that might be an issue. You might have to learn how to swim before you can complete a triathlon, at least to the point of where you can complete the distance in a safe manner. However, leading me to the next question, what is the difference between a triathlon and a duathlon? A triathlon is a swim, bike, and run. And a duathlon is usually a bike and a run. Sometimes it's a run, a bike, and then another run. So if you cannot swim and maybe you don't want to get into swimming, you can look into duathlons and just cut the swimming part out of it. How many hours do I need to train per week? Again, this is a very loaded question, and it depends on you personally, where you're starting, and it depends on what goal you're having and what distance you're going for. But generally speaking, you will look at 5 to 6 workouts a week, somewhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours long, roughly in that time frame. You can probably get away with less if you go for shorter distance triathlons, and maybe you have a background in one of the 3 sports already. You can probably get away with less, but roughly around there, I would say. What is the best triathlon distance? There's really no answer to it, since there are a lot of different distances. There's a sprint distance, then an Olympic distance, a half Ironman, an Ironman distance, and there's even ultra Ironman distances. So whatever you feel like distance you want to go for it. There's probably something out there. However, if you're fully new, you probably want to start with a sprint triathlon to see if you like it and if you like having all 3 sports together. If you jump straight into a 70.3, that's what I did, and then you don't like it, that is going to be a very long day. And your training is going to be more if you want to prep for a 70.3 versus if you want to prep for a sprint. So what I recommend is start with a sprint, start with that training load, and then see if you want to go up from there after completing your first sprint triathlon. All right, 2 more questions. First one, am I too old to start training? No, you're never too old to start getting into triathlon. There is any race you go out there will be an age group 70 plus, and I promise you there's going to be people in that age group completing these triathlons. So no, triathlon is for people of any age, as long as your body is physically capable of swimming, biking, and running the distance. There's really no age limit to it. And the last question is, what should be my goal for my very first triathlon? And I would say just to finish. There's going to be a lot of challenges that you encounter during your first triathlon that you might think you prep for accordingly, and then you get into it and you notice, damn, shit is hitting the fan right now. So in your first triathlon, when you're really just trying to figure it out, focus on finish. The times do not matter. Your transition times, your run time, your second time, nothing matters. Make sure you get from the start to the finish line. And then after you've done your first one, or maybe your first couple, then you can go in and say, okay, I want to have these goals, get my transition time down, get my run time down, get my swim time down, whatever it is. For your very first one, just focus on having fun. Take it all in. It is a lot. It is a lot. And there's a lot going on around the races as well with the setup. There might be like an expo or something. So just make sure you make really the best out of it and take it all in before you really go down and set goals for races and get like so focused only on races. But that is it with the first video. I'm trying to keep it a little shorter. So next week I will go over the 10 most commonly Googled terms related to triathlon, and I will give you my answer to those. So if there was something helpful in this video, make sure you hit the like button, and if you want to stick around for next week, make sure you hit subscribe as well. If there's any other questions that I missed, or that you would like an extra video or maybe an answer to, let me know down in the comments below and I will do my best to help you out. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in the next one.